My name is Marcell Hanson, and you're listening to Small Habits, Big Changes. Let's dive in. Welcome back. Had a hiatus last week. I had some family stuff going on. And in most of these episodes, I do my best to actually stay present in present time. So if I'm talking about a certain topic, it's because it's come up throughout the week, either through a client or through a friend or something I witnessed or something that someone's brought to me and inquired about. And so I try and keep it very, very contextual, but also very current. And I've been going through some paperwork and I came across a note. I'm not sure how long ago I wrote this, probably within the last year. And I got it from somewhere. I can't credit it because I really don't recall and I didn't write it down. But it says, these two things control the quality of my life. Control these two things always. And they create the acronym ME, M and E. The M stands for meaning. Sometimes challenging to contextualize some of these frameworks because they really are individual. They're based on a particular person's experiences. And part of that is the meaning that you attach to whatever's going on. Now, we've had episodes that discussed about how to reframe and how you can change your perspective or alter your perspective to be more helpful or more healthy and positive and thus effective for yourself in the past. Feel free to scroll back through and find those. But meaning is interesting because it's 100% subjective. And, you know, to one person, something, they say one man's junk is another man's treasure, right? And the truth is that a lot of those adages are true. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. It is what you see. So if you attach negative meaning to something, whether intentional or otherwise, then it will have a negative connotation. It will have a negative energy in your mind, in your interpretation. Conversely, if you attach something positive to a person, place, or thing or event, then you'll have that connotation. It will be more uplifting, more positive, more insightful. The wild thing about that is that it could be the exact same experience. And you truly are the creator of that meaning comes in. You know, something happens to you, it feels yucky, it's painful, you might be sad about it, it might feel negative. Yet again, when you're right in it, that could feel overwhelming and produce feelings of anxiety and feelings of stress or extreme sadness. Again, a couple episodes ago, we talked about taking a step back, removing yourself, even if it's just in your imagination, removing yourself from proximity of what's going on. Just take it back, 30 feet, 50 feet, bird's eye view, across the street, whatever floats your boat, and take a look at it from a little bit farther out, right? Not so close. You might be able to shift its connotation. You might be able to shift its attachment to negativity to positivity. Maybe there is sadness in it, and yet there still is a feeling of wholeness or completion. I think if you can control the meaning you attach to things, then you really can control the quality of your life. The second bit, the E on the me, is emotion. And oftentimes that emotion comes from the meaning that you've attached to something. So if you attach negativity to something, or, you may feel sad or angry or dejected, as opposed to if you attach the meaning of positivity or learning or insight, then your emotions will be more uplifting, more curious, more interested, right? Because remember, again, we've discussed the brain is wired for just two things. It is wired to move toward pleasure, and it is wired to move away from pain. That's the human experience. Toward pleasure, away from pain. If you are the one creating the meaning, then you are the one creating the pleasure. It's powerful. I'm not just talking to anyone. Honestly, it's probably 2% of people that will get this, that will apply this, that will grow from this, that will live happier, more fulfilled, more purpose-filled lives as a result. 2%. The other 98% listening is they're just listening to fill space. And if that's you, I just as soon you switch over to another podcast. It has probably been my only frustration in life to share really valuable information from a perspective of, wholeness, and not have it received in time or not have it received fully. And as a result, I've learned to lower my expectations of other people, which is great. It's a fantastic way to find happiness, seeking it within yourself and your immediate surrounding, but also not looking to not be fulfilled, but not even have your standards anywhere near met by other people. And I think it sounds somewhat jaded. I certainly didn't feel that way in my 20s, maybe even not in my 30s. But I think it is a healthier perspective than putting your hopes and trust and fulfillment in people that will perpetually let you down, because you create that meaning and you create thus that emotion. And so I invite the 2% that are listening, that are getting this, to share it with someone you feel like might also be on the precipice of putting those two things together. It's extreme accountability. In all honesty, the majority of people walk through life believing it's done unto them. I believe that the universe is in a conspiracy toward my good. I have since the mid-90s. In fact, it was a motto, a theme for a year or two in the mid-90s for me. And if that's true, and I act as though it is, then I will find synchronicities. I will find moments of kismet. I will find how the universe, one verse, how we are all connected. And I will find real beauty in that. I hope that for the 2% of you listening that are going to take action, that are really going to take this in, maybe listen to it again and look at their life as to where they could reframe some experiences. It doesn't work for everybody. It really doesn't. There's some people that they might have been dealt a victim card, or they chose one from the deck, and that's the one they're sticking to. And there is no amount of evidence that could convince me that I'm here to save someone else. But I do believe that we can learn a lot from one another. And importantly, or equally as important, I think we can learn a lot from ourselves. So maybe spending more time with ourselves versus scrolling on social media, maybe spending more time out in nature, walking through the trees or the forest, or maybe along the beach instead of watching television or YouTube. Spending time in nature, spending time with animals, and spending time with ourselves. I think we can learn a lot more than relying on other people all the time to fulfill us and to educate us, for that matter. I enjoy a couple podcasts. I like to listen to them and then ponder the content. I don't listen to them all day long. I might listen to one couple a week, and I find inspiration from either the curiosity behind the host or maybe the vulnerability of the guest, the intrigue and the interest in their life and how they've learned to articulate their story. I think these things are interesting. And I've had a number of people in the last few days share their condolences by way of saying, I'm sorry for your loss, because my cat, Smudge, of 21 years, passed away a few days ago. While I understand what people are saying when they say, I'm sorry for your loss, it's not lost on me at all as to that's another phrase that we've come to utilize to. It's not that we're trying to sweep it under the rug, but it is one of those catch-all phrases that just doesn't sit with me. And so I've said, in this instance, don't be sorry. If anything, be jealous. I had an amazing 21 years with, to date, the greatest teacher of my life. And to that, I say, I will choose to be grateful. I will choose that feeling blessed over the default of sadness, of heartbreak, or feeling gutted, feeling the void. Instead of that societal default, I will choose to feel full and blessed. And when I gently correct someone or share that with them, I hope that somehow that allows them to reframe and also to know that we as a society, particularly North Americans, we don't embrace the dying process. We're quick to medicate. We don't want anyone to deal with pain. We want to, mitigate that hardship as soon as possible. I had a friend share with me a week or so ago a paraphrase or a synopsis of how Emerson saw life in his later years. He was at the time riddled with dis-ease, and he chose not to partake in pharmaceuticals and numbing agents that were available to him. And I'll say it in my words, to bring balance to what he saw as a really blessed life. He had been so fortunate and had a wonderful life that he embraced the paradox and the polarity, if you will, of the end of life, the dying process, to honor and to maybe pay homage or respect to how many great years he had before that. And it instantly resonated with me. I think pain is a part of life, human life. I think that we struggle as a society to embrace that pain. Like I said, we quick to give pain medication, whether it's or morphine or whatever, and the drip continues until everybody's ready to say their goodbyes. I won't be so bold to say as everybody should encounter it, embrace the experience, and witness the dying process in another individual. But for those of you who are brave enough to take it on, it will enlighten you. I don't think you can go through that experience without being changed. And I think because it doesn't happen quickly, like physiologically, there's a lot going on, takes time to wind down and shut down. I think it allows you to see that the body is just the body, and that the spirit of your loved one is at that time just being patient, waiting to get out as the body does its wind down. And again, ample opportunity to attach meaning and subsequent emotion to such an experience, whether it's your parent, whether it's your child, whether it's your beloved cat or dog or your best friend. It's not to bring a somber tone to this episode. It just really is. It's a blessing. I feel blessed. I feel so very grateful to have had and shared, 2+ decades with my buddy. I wish that for all of you. I do. I wish you the love of a lifetime, and I hope if you lose that in physical form, that you'll be able to reframe the experience and retain that connection in spiritual form. Just keeping it real, folks. I hope that this week you're able to be grateful for the love and connection in your life, and also that you're able to maybe reframe or shift past hurt, whether it was friendship lost or intimate relationship or family member. If you're able to alter the meaning that you've attached to that, You'd be surprised at how freeing that can be. I wish that for you. Until next time, blessings. Thanks again for sharing your time here today, and we'll see you next time around. Thank you so much for listening today. If you feel any part of this episode resonated with you, then please consider sharing it with a friend who may also find value in it. And remember to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And before you go, did you know we have a fantastic free text community? If you want more bite-sized health hacks and reminders delivered directly to your phone, absolutely free, then text keyword YES to 206-483-2960. Again, that's keyword YES to 206-483-2960. And we'll see you on the inside.